Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Thursday, the 4th of December.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Today marks World Mining Day. We dig into Rwanda's mining sector.
Fashion in Rwanda seems to be popping up everywhere. We take a look into this growing trend.
And we give you the 5D experience in this week's movie review.
Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you all the latest news, sports, and lifestyle headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here with us in studio now.
Right
What
here.
is going on in the world of business?
I
The
have
money.
fashion. The money behind the fashion. I have it all today.
Uh-oh, it seems like Alan is going to be run out of a job. That's your
telling
thing.
you,
I'm
right?
on
Alan,
your
what do you
case.
have this
Well, you
week?
know what? It's okay. Today it's all about movies. Not only do I have the movie reviews, but of course I also got a chance to experience the 5D experience.
That sounds exciting. All right, Arnold, what do you have?
Save the best for last, as usual.
Of course.
Today I have the latest in the NBA. Regis' favorite. I think we're going to dig deep into Steph Curry 2 nights back.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. All of that and more is still to come, but first, Rise and Shine story of the day.
As we celebrate International Mining Day all over the planet, the growth of the mining sector in Rwanda over the last decade has been remarkable. The export earnings, which were of $40 million in 2006, had grown to $226 million by 2013. Over the last several years, the sector has become the largest export earner for Rwanda and the second largest foreign exchange earner for the country, next to tourism. How did mining become such a key sector in our economy? Take a look. For a landlocked country known for its touristic attractions and its great tea and coffee, Rwanda has surpassed a lot of expectations by also becoming a regional mining power player. The mining sector contributed $226 million in export revenues in 2013, and the target of the sector is to earn up to $400 million from mineral exports by 2017.
The mining industry in Rwanda has been reformed and is currently being transformed. We recorded 10% growth since 2006. We are introducing different forms of rules and regulations to promote it and to transform it into really a viable pillar of the economy.
Today, when we are talking about the minerals, conflict minerals, and so, wherever you are exploiting, there is no conflict.
Over the last several years, the sector has become the largest export earner for Rwanda and the second largest foreign exchange earner for the country, next to tourism. Mining employs at least 34,000 people, and the target is to increase to 60,000 jobs by 2018.
The procedure involves identifying the kind of project you want to do, and possibly also identifying where you want to do it. It's an open business which anybody can join.
As the world celebrates the International Mining Day under the theme Professional Mining as the Pillar of Growth and Sustainable Development, Rwanda has seen the sector contribute to the country's socio-economic transformation and sustainable development. There are various efforts being made in the mining industry to increase the export revenue by ensuring the safety of miners, as well as strategies being made to add value to minerals.
The traceability scheme from a developing nation cost a fortune. We as an industry contribute, but the government were the first in the region to actually implement it and enable us to actually work.
This is clearly a sector on the rise. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And in the studio with us right now is the Minister of State in charge of mining, the Honorable Evode Imena. Honorable, it's a pleasure having you here. The mining industry has become so big for our country. We used to know our country for tea and coffee and tourism. Now we can add mining to that. It's the second most important incoming sector in the country. How did we get to that?
First of all, it's because of the reforms introduced by the government, essentially since 2006, when all the business has been privatized. So we brought in private companies, and you know, sometimes they know to do things better than the government, especially when it comes to mining. So with those reforms and laws, regulations which were introduced, capacity building of our institutions, as well as of the miners, we've seen it transformed. And I would say that we are just at the beginning. We still have a long journey, but we are proud to see what has been achieved today.
So we talk a lot about young people, youth employment here, especially recently. It's been a topic that's been on everyone's lips. So tell me, do you think that this is an industry that young people should be focusing on right now?
That's the industry for the young people, for women as well. We are trying to attract them, but they are actually the majority of the number we have are youth, but we want them to have skills, want them to have knowledge, because you know, the industry is growing, the technology is coming in, and we want to move with that. So that's why the government has initiated some schools for mining, engineering. Soon we will have a faculty for geology and mining. So all of that is to empower our youth and make sure that they do the job correctly.
At the end of October, early November, our president, His Excellency Paul Kagame, was in London, and he was talking about how mining had become such a key sector for Rwanda. Now, for the future, for the coming 5, 10, 15 years, what do we have in place to make sure that it's not just the number 2 sector in Rwanda, but that it grows even more?
Yes, we have a clear target for the EDPRS2. That is to reach 400 million US dollars by 2017-2018. And this means to triple what we have been producing in 2012. So it's an ambitious target, but we are sure we'll get there. How will we get there? Is to increase investment. So we are bringing in new companies from all over the world. We are also empowering the Rwandese companies here to ease access to funds for them, which is one of the biggest challenge, but also to look into value addition. That's why soon you will see the Karuru Martin smelter relaunched, and we will be making some good money out of that, but also that is a technology transfer, and $400 million should not be the limit. It's a good target, but after that, if we reach it, and I'm sure we'll reach it, we'll set another target.
So we've seen that there have been some new safety regulations put in place. Can you tell us about, you know, should people be concerned when they're going into mining?
Yes, because so far we have registered some accidents, fatal accidents, which is very, very bad for us. And now we are focusing on inspection, but we didn't have clear standards for mines. So now we have set up standards, and we are trying to ensure that everybody follows and put in place those standards. And how do we get to that is to enforce the inspections. We've got a new mines inspection unit. We have now 6 inspectors. The number is still limited, but we are also using the other agents we have on the field to join us in that journey, so that we do it ourselves. We don't really need those consultants from outside to show us that this is a risky tunnel or a risky pit. So, but with the good collaboration with the Rwanda Mining Association, we are seeing some companies engaging in those standards, and they are being models to others.
That was a great segue. You talked about having international experts here. Now, to the average Rwandan out there that doesn't really know about mining but would like to know a bit more, what can they do to get educated about mines, about mining, and about minerals, and how they can do to help the industry?
Okay, first they can start by watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. And, but okay, we have the Rwanda Natural Resources Authority, which has a department specialized in mining and geology. So that will be the first entry point. Second is the IPRC in Kigali, where we are training youth, young Rwandese, young professionals to get the skills, the knowledge required. And second is to read. We have a problem here. People don't read, but everything is there, is on the books. So we are asking those in the field to start reading electronics, mechanics, those tools that you use in processing, everything which can help you to move from where you are today to a better place for tomorrow.
Do you think that there is any, mining has been growing considerably. Do you think that there's any untapped treasures that are out there?
Very good question. Yes, there are untapped treasures. So let's say so far today we are just mining cassiterite, wolframite, and coltan, and a little bit of gold and a little bit of sapphire, which is a gemstone. But we have been conducting some geological surveying and identified traces or indications for rare earth elements. Those are new types of elements that we use in these new cars which don't use the fuel. We have identified some lead, some copper, some monazite. Those are new things we hope in the next future, next 3 years, we'll start extracting and exporting. But before exporting, processing here.
Fortunately, that's the case. That sounds exciting.
Absolutely, it is.
It seems like the future is very bright. Thank you so much, Minister.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And since its privatization, the mining sector has grown from a trading to an investment industry, currently having more than 250 exploration and mining companies with at least 500 mine sites. With the ongoing rainy season, there have been a number of accidents on mining sites, which has led to the government to put more emphasis on the safety of the miners with strict regulations on the concession owners. In the studio is chairman of the Rwanda Mining Association, Jean-Malik Kalima. Welcome, sir. Jean-Malik, ce que je voudrais d'abord savoir en premier, le secteur des minerais au Rwanda, comment il se porte aujourd'hui?
Merci beaucoup pour la question. Le secteur minier aujourd'hui, c'est un secteur qui est en train de se développer. C'est un secteur qui ne vient pas de longtemps, parce qu'il y a de cela 7 ans, parce qu'on a commencé en 2007, lors de la privatisation. Maintenant, on est vraiment à une phase où on s'est dit, au niveau de la région, que le secteur minier est en bonne posture.
On n'a pas toujours connu le Rwanda pour être un pays exportateur de miniers, où d'abord on trouvait des minerais même à l'époque. On a toujours parlé du thé, du café, des gorilles, de l'attrait touristique du pays. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé pour qu'on découvre qu'il y ait des minerais et pour qu'on en fasse une des forces de notre économie?
Oui, mais écoutez, ce n'est pas dit que les minerais ont été découverts récemment. Le Rwanda, c'était un petit pays minier de l'époque. Lors de la période coloniale, il y avait des mines. Mais vu que le minerai à cette époque, donc les années 65, 70, le minerai produit au Rwanda, qui sont les 3 T, donc la cassiterite, le coltan et le tungstène, ils ont dû chuter sur le marché mondial. Ce qui fait que les différents intervenants à l'époque ont dit abandonner le secteur, ils sont partis. Ce n'est qu'avec la nouvelle technologie, il y a de cela, je crois, 10 ans ou 15 ans, c'est là où l'industrie a eu maintenant besoin encore de ces 3 T. Ce qui fait qu'il y a eu un boom depuis, je crois, les années 2000, 2005, 2001, 2002. Et c'est là où il y a eu besoin sur le marché mondial de ces 3T. Ce qui fait que les investisseurs et même les Rwandais ont compris qu'il fallait maintenant s'investir dans le secteur.
Alors aujourd'hui, partout dans le monde, c'est International Mining Day, la journée internationale des minerais. Pour le Rwanda aujourd'hui, à l'échiquier international, où nous situons-nous? Où est-ce qu'on joue? Est-ce que c'est plus au niveau régional qu'on vend nos minerais ou c'est au niveau international?
Ah non, c'est au niveau international. Moi, je suis prêt à vous dire et à vous confirmer que les Rwandais aujourd'hui se positionnent sur le plan international sur les 5 premiers producteurs de la castérite. Au niveau Afrique, on s'est dit on vient en 4e position et même au niveau mondial. Ce qui fait que déjà nos exports se font du Rwanda à l'étranger. On exporte vers l'Asie, les Amériques et même l'Europe.
Aujourd'hui, que diriez-vous est la première force minérale du Rwanda? C'est son sol ou c'est les travailleurs qui arrivent à trouver ces minerais-là?
C'est le sol en premier lieu. Et puis les travailleurs, d'ailleurs, là, on dira qu'on a encore besoin de la main-d'œuvre qualifiée, ce qui fait qu'on est en train de faire appel à la nouvelle génération de pouvoir aussi s'engager dans le secteur. Parce que c'est un secteur où on s'est dit il y a plein d'avenir et il n'y a pas assez de gens qui ont fait la formation. Et moi, je crois que le gouvernement est maintenant engagé avec le secteur privé de voir comment ils pourront avoir une faculté, que ce soit au niveau de l'université ou même dans les écoles techniques, pour enseigner nos gens en ce qui concerne le secteur, les mines et la géologie.
On ne va pas faire du surplace. Essayons de voir à quoi ressemblera le secteur minier du Rwanda dans le futur. Dans les 5-10 prochaines années, qu'envisagez-vous?
Oui, déjà on s'est dit, il y a la bonne foi des deux parts, que ce soit les privés et les publics. On s'est dit, on devra développer. Et comme vous le savez, au Rwanda, quand on fait quelque chose, on le fait à l'excellence. Nous, on s'est dit, déjà, on est en train de faire, on a dit changer la loi, du moins amender les codes miniers. Là, c'est déjà avec la participation du public et du privé en même temps. Et à partir de cet amendement, ça permet maintenant à l'investisseur de se sentir plus ouvert à tout financement. Ça, c'est un premier. Un second, on s'est dit, il y a cette politique d'ajout de valeur, add value. On s'est dit, nous, on est prêts, parce qu'on est en train déjà de travailler sur le fait qu'on peut avoir toutes les facilités pour pouvoir traiter le minerai, les exporter, pas en état raw material comme on dit. Là, c'est déjà quelque chose. Et puis, il y a aussi l'exploration. L'exploration, on est en train de mettre beaucoup d'efforts, parce que pour savoir ce qu'on doit exporter, et pour extraire et faire un bon business plan, il faut savoir tout d'abord les réserves qu'il y a. Et ça, on est en train d'y mettre beaucoup d'efforts.
Jean-Mali Kalima, ça a été un plaisir de vous recevoir sur le plateau de Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Makena and I will be right back.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was great. Thank you.
That was a great plug too.
Whoa.
Would you like to have some ice cream, young man?
Ice cream?
Sure.
The best fly with Europe's best airline, Turkish Airlines.
Welcome back, and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's get to my favorite portion of the show, the money. Fidelis Karangwa has the business details.
Business stories making headlines today. Accountants have been urged to participate more in economic development of the region. This was mentioned during the just concluded Association of Chartered Certified Accountants Regional Conference in Kampala, which brought together accountants from all over the East African region. Officials say the accountancy profession is very valuable to the economies of the East African region, and they should therefore play their part in the development of the region. And new agreements were signed between the Rwandan government and several investors in the service industry that could help the country earn more export revenue from the sector. The deal, which was signed at the closure of the two-day service event forum in Kigali, is expected to help reduce trade deficits, create employment opportunities, and enhance the country's economic growth. Now, with more new businesses starting up in Rwanda, competition has risen even higher, creating a greater need for marketing services in most businesses. This, however, may be very expensive for businesses that have just started up. Well, a group of young entrepreneurs have found just an easy solution for that. We went to find out more about this. Here at the Kigali pop-up show, 5 young entrepreneurs have come together to display, sell, and advertise some of their products. They get to meet various people and explain to them how their businesses work, as well as sell to them some of the products they make.
I think it's a good opportunity to show the public what we do, and I think it's very important that we continue to do things like this. I think we help encourage that, I guess spending, people are looking left, right, and center for gifts for Christmas, and we just decided to get together, bring them to the same place, and I think it's a good opportunity for us as artists, as designers, and it's also great for people to find out about businesses like ours.
From the look of things, however, the number of Rwandan people attending the event is still very small. Could it be that they don't understand what it is? This entrepreneur, however, feels like their numbers are slowly growing and they've even started purchasing more of their products.
Oh yes, I would say there's also quite a number of locals that are interested in contemporary Rwandan design. So yes, the turn-up is quite good.
I think so initially everyone was like, what was a pop-up? And so you really have to be active. You have to. All my clients coming into the shop for the past 2 weeks have been saying, come check out the pop-up. So you really have to push it because it's a concept that many people here are not used to, and so you have to do a lot more work to make it something that they say, you know what, let me go check it out, let me like it. Like once I like it, I'll go check out the next one. So just like that.
Clearly, there's no stopping the young entrepreneurs of Rwanda. And with more events like this happening in the country, the business world in Rwanda is up for a major boost.
This is very much pleasure to me to join this show because I'm selling some of art pieces here.
Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
It looked like an exciting event.
It was beautiful. I had a great time personally.
So I heard you mention that there weren't very many local people there. Was it a lot of expats or diasporas?
Mainly, according to what I saw, that's mainly the people who were there. And I was curious. I wondered why it was like that. And from what I found out, well, it's just like in Rwanda, like we've talked about it before. We're going to say it again. People are not big on Christmas, not too big on buying presents and all that. And this was mainly a place where you can go and buy a present for someone and stuff like that. So they didn't get as many, local people, but some came, but not in huge numbers as compared to the expats that were there.
Do you believe that when it comes to things that men can buy, women can buy, we remember Alan did a feature on House of Teo, and the thing is, they have like these cars and they have all these other things, these great things. Do you think we still need to teach Rwandan men to buy these things and get them? Because there's more women than men showing up to pop-ups to buy stuff, and that doesn't make sense.
Well, let me give an easy example. You had just were there shopping, so
Well,
so I guess they could learn from you.
The average Rwandan, how can we make it happen so that men understand that it's important to actually go out and get into
important.
fashion?
It's just something that is not too many Rwandan men are used to going out and shopping, and that's why I'm saying maybe it could be a great example, and people could learn from you. Just set the trend. I mean, they need to, because I mean the fashion world is not just for women. and it's
Exactly.
for men as well. And they should shop, they should get some nice stuff for themselves too.
Okay, Regis setting it a little fashion
Being
example for us
trendsetter.
right there. Okay,
Yeah.
you are up to date with today's business headlines. Sports news is coming up in just a moment with Arnold Quizera.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Sports news now with me, Arnold Quizera. Starting with cycling, Rwanda's Ndaisenga moves to 6th in the latest cycling rankings in Africa. The Tour de Rwanda winner Valence Ndaisenga has moved to an impressive 6th position in the 2014 Africa Tour rankings, which were released last week. The 20-year-old started the Tour de Rwanda in 15th position but jumped 9 places to 6th after winning the UCI-listed competition last month. As a country, Rwanda is ranked 5th in Africa. Morocco is the top-ranked team on the continent, followed by Eritrea, Algeria, and South Africa. The rankings are based on performances in different cycling races on the continent. Eritrea's Mekseb Debase, who finished 27th in the Tour de Rwanda, tops the rankings with Morocco's Mohsen Lassaini in 2nd place. Algerian Azzedine Lagba is 3rd, while Moroccan duo Said Eboluche and Salaheddine Mouraouni are 4th and 5th, respectively. To basketball. Chicago Bulls succumbed to another overtime loss on a night when the Brooklyn Nets bossed New York, and the Warriors' strong start to the season continued. Despite taking a game-high 35 shots against a Derrick Rose-led Bulls, Monta Ellis's 38 points led the Dallas Mavericks to a 132-129 overtime win over Chicago. Dirk Nowitzki added 22 points, while Paul Gasol led the Bulls with 29. The Brooklyn Nets withstood a late rally from the New York Knicks on their way to a 98-93 win at the Madison Square Garden. Brooklyn's big three of Deron Williams, Joe Johnson, and Brook Lopez was excellent offensively, combining to score 64 points on a 50% shooting. The Knicks were led by Carmelo Anthony, whose 20 points came by way of 22 shots. The new big three in Cleveland came to play for a combined 81 points as the Cavs held off the Milwaukee Bucks for a 118-108 win. And a Steph Curry three-pointer continued Golden State's 9-game winning streak with a victory over Orlando Magic in the other game. And finally, in some sad news, renowned Australian batsman Philip Hughes has been laid to rest in his hometown of Maxville. The batsman passed away after being hit by a bouncer in a league game last week. Captain Michael Clark led the emotional tributes for a player he called his younger brother.
He left the mark on our game that needs no embellishment. I don't know about you, but I keep looking for him. I know it's crazy, but I expect any minute to take a call from him. I want to see his face pop around the corner. Is this what we call the spirit? If so, then his spirit is still with me, and I hope it never leaves. I walked in the middle of the SCG on Thursday night. Those same blades of grass beneath my feet, where he and I and so many of his mates here today have built partnerships, taken chances, and lived out the dreams we painted in our heads as boys. The same stands where the crowds rose to their feet to cheer him on, and that same fence he sent the ball to time and time again. And it's now forever the place where he fell.
All right, Arnold, this has been going on for almost a week now, the loss of Philip Hughes and how really sad it is, and to see Michael Clark lead with that emotional tribute and testimony. I mean, what did you take from it?
It's a very sad day in the world of sport, especially cricket. Philip Hughes died a very young batsman, aged 25 years. He holds 2 world records, which he set at the age of 21 in that game against South Africa. That's being the only player to score a double century in an ODI game, which is a one-day international game. Emotional tributes coming from the world of cricket. Cricket has come to a standstill in Australia, where it's their national game. Many in Australia are calling this their Princess Diana moment. When you look at the death of Princess Diana that united Britain, this death has united Australia in so many ways. It was made a public holiday. It was passed over into the parliament. We see Hughes in that famous game of his there against South Africa right now on our TV screens. It's sad, but then another person we should remember in this moment is Sean Abbott, you know, the bowler, the young bowler, 22 years old, who hit that bouncer that hit Philip Hughes. You know, he has to go through a lot of counseling to be able to play cricket once again. Yeah, it's hard to live with because mentally he has been supported by Philip Hughes' family and the Australian Cricket Association.
All right, let's move on to the NBA. Now, if the playoffs were to start right now, the New York Knickerbockers wouldn't participate in the playoffs. Now, they got Phil Jackson this summer as president of basketball operations. They have Derek Fisher, one of his students in the Triangle, as the head coach. They still have Carmelo Anthony. They still have Amari Stoudemire. They still have J.R. Smith. And yet, if the playoffs were to start right now, they wouldn't be in the nitty and gritty of the whole thing. What's wrong with the Knicks? It seems like we're asking ourselves that question every year, right?
I think the Knicks situation right now is mental. You know, this is an experienced team. You don't expect them to be struggling the way they are struggling. Maybe because when you look at the other struggling team, which is the Sixers, it's a team built around a very young Michael Carter-Williams. But the Knicks, like in the stretch of the game against the Brooklyn Nets are on average are one of the oldest team in the league. But Knicks, Melo, when it mattered most, I'm a big Melo fan, don't take it away from Melo. When it mattered most, Melo didn't show up because he 22 points of 20 shots. You know, they had a stretch where they had put Brooklyn at the back foot, but Melo was turning that ball over. He made 7 turnovers. You know,
the knock on him has been, Arnold, without catching you off. I mean, the knock on him has been that he's part of that elite class from 2003 that was drafted. I mean, LeBron James, him, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and they all won championships. He's the only one that hasn't won a championship. I mean, what is it going to take for the Knicks to get over the hump?
I think Melo is top 5 offensive players any day.
Does he have to get
in the golden era of basketball? Melo is top 5 offensive player, but Melo has a mental problem. His defense, he feels underrated, but no one's underrating you when you're being paid $500 million over 5 years. You know, he has a max contract. I think Melo needs to step his game up.
All right. Now, let's come back a little bit here at home and talk about Valens Ndaisenga. This is someone who's made Rwanda very proud. Before the Tour de Rwanda, he was number 15 in Africa. He's number 6 now. He just jumped into the top 10. Your opinion on that?
9 places up. I think it speaks volumes of Valens Ndaisenga. The hard work he put in. Right now he's in Switzerland, you know, going through just straight after the Tour de Rwanda when you expected him to maybe take a week off or
rest on his laurels a little bit.
Yeah, he straight away the Tuesday after he left for the for Switzerland, and he's going through intensive training. He's most likely to go professional, join his Adrian Schutti, maybe at MTN Quebec or a team in France or Germany. But you feel Valens Ndaisenga has a bright future. Don't forget he's only 20 years old, right? He carries Rwanda's flame maybe to be the first rider to ever ride into the Tour de France.
He carries the torch of sports basically in this country. All right, thank you, Arnold.
Thank you, Turage.
You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Makena and I will be right back after the break.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
A new petroleum storage facility in Gasabo district is set to be completed early next year to help reduce the crisis in the transportation of petroleum products. The 21 million liter facility, constructed by Société Pétrolière Limited, is expected to raise the national reserve that currently holds 30 million liters. Experts say big fuel reserves were essential to ensure the country has enough fuel to supply the market and stabilize pump prices. Officials say the use of petroleum products is expected to grow at an annual average rate of 10.1%.
The National Bank of Rwanda is expected to issue new 2,000 and 5,000 notes to replace the old ones. The design of the 2,000 bill will have English as the language on the front, and back it will be Kinyarwanda. Officials said that bills will have better security features and a stronger material to prevent forgery, and ensure the notes last longer in circulation.
The Senate has launched investigations into cross-border crimes to help curb crimes in the region. The move comes after a survey showed that cybercrimes and money laundering have been linked to drug abuse and human trafficking at the borders. Officials have been asking to undertake field visits at all the border posts to investigate how they are working and come up with concrete mechanisms to fight the crimes.
The World Bank has said that it would provide $1.2 billion to help improve the infrastructure and competitiveness of the East African community. Officials said that the bank will partner with EAC governments and the private sector to help deepen policy integration and reduce barrier to trade. The World Bank will also invest in transport links to better connect landlocked countries like Rwanda and Uganda to enable access to the ports of Mombasa and Dar es Salaam.
And in international news, US President Barack Obama has called for Congress to approve $6 billion to end the fight against the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. This comes after he visited the National Institute of Health and congratulated scientists on working towards a vaccine. The World Health Organization has estimated 6,055 people have died from the Ebola virus in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea. Doctors Without Borders have criticized the international response for being slow and leaving the job of tackling the crisis to doctors, nurses, and charity organizations.
Time now for a review of the headlines. Our very own Arno Quizera joins us now to look through some of the front pages. I like it when you have a different hat on. It's not just sports with you. You're an all-around Renaissance man, aren't you?
Thank you.
Okay.
Regis does the same. So.
He does. Okay, so I just want to get first into the first headline. We have been chosen as one of the 100 most resilient countries in the world. Tell us about that.
Cities.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
cities.
Kigali City.
Kigali
City. When you say we, the people in Ramagana may feel, you know.
Oh.
Kigali has been chosen as one of the most 100 resilient cities in the world by a board. This board has Donald Kaberuka. It has the president of Costa Rica, Madame Francois. It's Spanish, so Spanish names. And then it has the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes.
Yeah. And Kigali is among the top 100 cities in the world right now. And that means it's with the likes of London, New York, San Francisco. There are only 4 African cities and none from South Africa, which is surprising because you have Accra from Ghana, Enugu from Nigeria, and the Moroccan capital Rabat, and then Kigali.
There's this Danish lady last week or the week before, I don't remember, who actually said that Kigali, to her, she's lived in a lot of African capitals, and she said it's one of the only capital cities in the world where you can walk with your laptop on at like 3 in the morning, being a lady, and not feel threatened at all.
Yeah.
And she felt really safe. The fact that there's always like patrols on the streets and everything, it's unbelievable to be living in a country like this, in a city like this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's a nice thing, but one of the things that that's considered when they're choosing the top 100 cities is the issue of it being a very conducive entertainment spot, which I don't think many people in Kigali right now would agree with.
They would totally disagree with that.
So I think it's something we need to work on. Remember, for it to be chosen, the mayor of Kigali had to go and pitch these over 100 mayors from over 1,000 mayors from different cities in the world were there, and a few were chosen in Asia. Only about 8 cities were chosen, including Toyama of Japan and Shuangzhou of China. Yeah.
I'm hearing those are not the only great news we have for Rwanda this week. I'm also hearing that we may have possibly exceeded expectations when it comes to our economy?
Yeah, the economy is set. Earlier last year, the economy grew by 5.2% in the fiscal year. The fiscal year starts in June and ends June the following year. So Rwanda's economy grew by 5.8% the year before, which was a great decline, being that we're averaging 7.2%. Now this year they had the National Bank, BNR, thought its experts thought the economy will grow by only about 6.2%, But as of now, the economy has grown by 6.8%. So it's projected to grow higher, and this has been brought about by different factors. One of them being one of the laws being passed by the parliament, which was the courtesy rate law, and that law cuts interest rates on goods. So it was cut by half, which was brought to 6.5% points. Now with the 6.5% points, it enables people to borrow more from the banks, meaning lending rates are lower. Meaning if I borrow about 100,000, I may pay the bank at most 120,000, which is favorable for a business person. So people borrowed a lot and invested in the economy, which brought, again, a lot of money in the economy. And that has been helped by so many other funds. Petroleum prices have gone low in Rwanda. Diesel has been moved at a lower price compared to last year. And then you feel that the world economy is recovering. So those are other factors that have helped Rwanda's economy to propel this year.
All right, very good news for this week's,
Really great.
Newspaper topics.
Rwanda's doing good.
All right, thank you so much, Arnold. And there are lots more things still to come. Alan Karakire is up next with lifestyle and, of course, hot topics. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for lifestyle. Alan Karakire,
Yes.
what do you have for us?
Well, not only do I have the movie review for you guys, I also got a chance to go check out the 5D movie experience.
Sweet, looking forward to it.
Remember when watching movies meant going to the video stores to rent cassettes and DVDs of your favorite movies? Or even popular movie nights at restaurants, embassies, even nightclubs? Well, now Kigali has a new movie theater fully equipped with the latest digital equipment, massive silver screens, and comfy chairs, offering a whole new movie experience. Let's take a look.
Located inside Kigali City Tower, the ultra-modern Century Cinemas features 4 state-of-the-art movie theaters including 2D, 3D, and the very first 5D cinema experience in the region. Since the cinema opened back in May of 2013, moviegoers are now thrilled to check out the latest international movies playing in theaters. But what is so special about this 5D cinema compared to 2D or 3D cinema?
The 5D, it's an experience which takes between 7 minutes and 10. Normally, it's an experience where you sit and enjoy the feelings that you are watching on the movie. It's closer than 3D.
Although moviegoing is still quite a new culture to Rwandans, the Rwandan youth are the most excited to go and check out the latest box office hits.
The most of time that we get busy, it's when the holiday is starting. Like when now the schools are going to close, so then now we are expecting, and the season greetings is starting, Christmas, Happy New Year. That's where we're gonna be crowded.
But with so many people watching pirated movies online, doesn't that affect the business?
Normally, that doesn't affect very much, because when the website allow people to download that movies, it's not direct on the release. Normally, it comes after 1 month or 2 weeks when the movie is already out.
You've probably watched a 2D movie, maybe even a 3D movie. Have you ever watched a 5D movie? I haven't either, and I'm about to try it. All right, let's take a look. It may be hard to tell because of my big smile that we were actually watching a horror movie, but if you notice the lady next to me, it was a bit too intense for her that at one point she had to hold on to me. Alright, so we just finished watching the 5D movie and it was super fun. You actually feel like you're inside. You've got wind blowing at you, water blowing at you. Unfortunately for my friend next to me, she had to leave because it was just too scary and too intense for her.
It was, just can't explain. It was very scaring. I don't know how to say it, but I was in front of Mr. Bone and very scaring one.
But not everyone was traumatized by the experience.
byanshimishije kubera ko yari ntuzayajya mbere kuyireba bwari ubwa mbere mbireba noneho bituma mbasha kubyiyumvamo.
So whether it's horror, action, or a speeding roller coaster, 5D is definitely giving moviegoers one hell of a ride. Alan Karakure, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
That is hilarious.
Isn't it?
That is funny. The lady had to leave?
She had to leave. It was just too intense for her. And you know, the funny thing is, I was actually trying to not laugh, but I couldn't help it. She just, she was cringing onto me.
Oh no, you were
actually.
laughing a lot. We saw that.
She was literally cringing on. Like, I thought she was actually gonna like.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know, I do know that, you know, a lot of times with 3D movies even, they tell you, you know, if you get motion sickness or something, you should step out. So I can just imagine with 5D, with everything coming at you.
I mean, it's an experience, and I think, you know, if you have an experience, you totally should, because it's not like just watching a 3D movie or a 2D movie, because like you saw, not only you've got wind blowing, but there's even like, you feel water sprays on you, you know? So it's a cool experience.
So tell me, I know that the 5D movie, it's I think it's more expensive than all the other movies that are there. Is it worth it because it's just about 15 minutes, right?
Yes, it's one of those things I don't think you'd want to do a lot, but I think it's just one of those things you do at least once just to check it out and feel it out, feel what it's all about.
Would you want to see like a proper full movie in this format?
Absolutely not. In fact, they say it's not possible because your body cannot take that kind of motion for that long. Period,
Right. So I know they have a few different movies, but is it like the regular cinema where they get like new 5D movies or?
You know what, to be honest, he didn't really tell me, but they did have options. They have different movies playing, but it's not like they have the latest 5D movie release or anything like that. It's not like they have one coming out every month or anything like that.
Okay, and before we have to move on, the lady that left, that couldn't manage all this lady right here.
I loved her, she was awesome.
You know, she couldn't manage it. She said it was extremely scary and it was too much movement. Is this something that you can bring kids to?
I mean, yeah, because, you know, okay, it depends. Some kids might be able to watch this, but I would say there's different movies. There's not just scary, there's also like the roller coaster, which was the second one that we saw. Right. So it depends. Some people like horror, but I would say maybe if you're younger than 13, no. I wouldn't recommend the horror.
There were seatbelts in that movie. Okay, anyways, all right, so what else do we have coming out?
So next is the movie review. So I'm going to tell you guys the next movie that's coming out. So let's check it out. Right, so let's get into our first movie. This one is actually coming out tomorrow, and this is a perfect movie to take your whole family. If you don't have kids, you can take your little cousins or anything like that. But let's first check out the trailer.
All right, let me get this straight. A man in a kabuki mask attacked you with an army of miniature flying robots.
Microbots? Baymax, tell him.
Yes, officer.
Microbots?
Yeah, he was controlling them telepathically with a neurocranial transmitter. Come on!
I am not fast.
Yeah, no kidding! Go, 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 go!
So Mr. Kabuki was using ESP to attack you and Balloon Man.
I know it sounds crazy,
kid. How about we call your parents and get them down here?
What?
Write your name and number down on this piece of paper and we can help.
We gotta catch that guy. But first, you're gonna need some upgrades.
Big Hero 6. It's a brilliant action-packed comedy animation, as you can see, about a band of friends who turn into a high-tech heroes. And basically, it's anyone who's into animation, gadgets, and lots of comedy, this is the right one for you. And it comes out tomorrow. But of course, there's also other movies that are still playing that I mentioned last week. For example, there's Interstellar, there's Horrible Bosses. So for those who missed it last week, you can still go check it out. They're all playing
And
in theaters.
Interstellar is still there? It's been there for a while.
It is still playing because there's a big movie coming out next week, but I won't reveal it because I'm saving it for next Thursday.
Perfect.
But of course, I can't go without mentioning the cult classic of the week.
Favorite part.
So I won't mention anything else. I'll just let you watch.
Our nation was searching for truth and Our nation was searching for truth and freedom.
The schools are your only chance. If you don't want education, do not come to school.
Two extraordinary women showed us the way.
She tells us the truth, and they love her because she's crazy.
History is so beautiful, it makes you cry.
Through music, she opened our eyes to life.
You will do all the work, and I go to sleep. Have we got it all worked out then?
Through dance, she gave us hope for the future.
All right, that was Serafina. Do you remember that movie?
Loved that movie. I was just big on anything that was a musical, and then I was like, this is in Africa, and it has Whoopi Goldberg, which for some reason I really liked.
Actually, I wanted to ask you whether it was popular outside of Africa, because it was huge in Africa. That was like a classic movie in the 90s.
Everyone knew that movie. I grew up in Jamaica. Everyone in Jamaica knows that. Well,
Right.
I can't speak for the whole island, but
Right.
all me and my friends, my cousins, we loved that movie.
Yeah, it's a great classical movie. It's a musical drama that's based in South Africa during apartheid in the 70s and 80s, and it's just a great movie. You learn a lot about what it was like back then. It's about Serafina and her classmates who basically try to rebel and fight back against apartheid, but get into a lot of trouble. And there's a lot. It's a deep movie, and it's a great movie, and it's a classic movie. I think if you have a chance to watch it, definitely watch it.
Absolutely.
And before we go, in fact, I'd like to say that, as always, this week I'm giving out free movie tickets, and the trivia question of the week is, who is the actress that played Serafina in the movie? So if you can tell us the actress who played Serafina, send us your answer to either our email or to our social media, whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter. All right, so stay tuned. Hot Topics is next. Welcome back. It's that Hot Topics time again. As always, you can join in on the debates and just send us a message through our social media, whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter. Let's get into our first hot topic, guys. This one, I mean, you guys have heard of, maybe you've heard of America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent. Well, guess what, guys? We now have Rwanda's Got Talent. Yes, we've got our very own Rwanda's Got Talent. Basically, it's a competition, a talent search competition that features singers, dancers, and comedians. And it started actually 2 weeks ago. They've had two editions. Sorry?
No magicians?
No magicians. I mean, I think magicians is not something popular here yet, but maybe you should audition if you want to be a magician. But basically, they've had two auditions so far, and they plan on having another one on December 13th at Hilltop Hotel. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the fact that there's more, I guess, talent shows or talent search competitions?
Personally, I love it. I judged one last year called Dunda Star.
I remember that.
And it was awesome. You see that so many people, have this talent that they don't really know how to how to show it, you know, and they just need a platform for it. And the winner was so great, and even the people who were leading up, and people worked so hard to, you know, work on their craft and try and impress the judges and the people who were watching. I thought it was amazing, and I would love to see more shows like that.
Absolutely, and this one, I find there's a lot of young people auditioning, which shows you that, you know, the country has a lot of young talent that needs to be.
It's another way of
given a chance.
diversifying the economy. The money, as Fidelis would say, our Regis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think it's so many of us who are raised in the white-collar job thinking, you know, by a generation of
You have
parents.
to be a doctor
You have to be
or
a
a pilot. Or
yeah, so, but these are some of the blue-collar jobs and the other jobs people can do, and out of talent, you know, Regis is seated in front of the TV out of his talent.
Right.
So it's, people need this kind of thing, you know.
Absolutely.
I also believe that for so long, Rwandan parents, just to basically to add to what Arnold is just saying, Rwandan parents for so long, they had this thing where if you wanted to do music or sports or any other form of entertainment, you were looked like as a failure. You were looked at as a failure, and it was like, no, that's a hobby. What do you really want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
So it feels great to see that people are actually embracing their talents, and they're having hopefully parents that are supportive. That would be great.
Yep, and now the next hot topic is one that's also a good thing. Valens Ndayisenga, who was the cyclist that won the Tour de Rwanda just 2 weeks ago, was ranked 6th place in Africa, and Rwanda was ranked 5th in Africa by the International Cycling Union, which is a good thing because he was 9th before.
No, he was 15th.
15th.
He just rose 9 spots, basically.
Right, to 6th.
Yeah.
I think it's
whatever
amazing.
he's doing, I need to do. Like I said, I need to buy myself a bike, and I need to get it together. But seriously, clearly, this is a great thing, something to be proud of, and we're rooting for him. You know,
Absolutely.
way to go,
It's so
way
great,
to go.
but again, Rwanda is a hilly country.
Right.
We should be expected to be what, number 1? Because it's, if you look at it, it's Ethiopia, it's East Africa basically.
Right.
Ethiopia, Eritrea,
Morocco
Djibouti.
too is also.
Morocco, very unique.
They have hills as well. Morocco, I mean,
Well, they've got the heat and the desert. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So we should be doing great.
Absolutely. All right, and the last one. This one is about Miss Uganda. Do you guys remember we talked about her about a month ago? Miss Uganda, her name is Leah Kalanguka. She's actually competing for Miss World title. And
You go, girl.
what I love about this story is that, first of all, they're actually, the Daily Mail is saying that she has a chance of actually being in the top 10 of Miss World.
Right.
Which is great because she didn't get a lot of good feedback when she won Miss Uganda. In fact, people were saying she's not pretty and...
Alan, tell me one
Look
thing.
at her, she's beautiful.
I think she's
gorgeous.
Tell
She
me
is.
one thing you're gonna do.
It was just bad makeup. Look, this is when
Exactly.
she won. I mean,
that has happened to the best of them.
Yeah.
Just tell me one thing you're gonna do and be great at and have like unanimous love coming your way. It's never gonna happen.
Plus,
So-
I feel like all the bad talk just made her stronger, and that's
Right.
and that's why she's doing so well right now.
Yeah.
I think she's determined to make everyone who said something bad about her just regret it forever.
Yeah, definitely.
That's-
I
that's
think
like-
they may have already chosen the top
no,
10. I'm
they,
under the
they
impression.
haven't actually confirmed the top 10.
Oh, okay.
This is just behind the scenes
Right.
sources saying that
Mm-hmm.
she might be part of the top 10.
Okay,
And I
hopefully.
wish her the best of luck. The announcement of the winner will be December 14th in London.
Okay.
And hey, I hope she
Is
goes
our
far.
Miss Rwanda taking part?
Actually, they haven't really talked about. I don't think she
I
is.
don't think I've
There was
unfortunately.
there was people on social media hating on Lupita. Look at where she is now.
Well, don't forget that we love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and the reports that we do. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your photos. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We'd love to hear your feedback and do let us know if you have an idea for the program. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahadio. We'll be here same time, same place tomorrow, so please do join us then. But for now, from the two of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.